Hi, welcome back. Now this video might be a little bit controversial, but hopefully also very educating, especially if you're a fellow midlifer. Question is, are you worried about AI? Or more importantly, should you be worried about AI? Now, if you ask that question to anybody over 40, 90% will say, it's just another internet fad. It's a bit like crypto. Don't worry about it. You don't have to understand it. Just forget about it. It's there, but it doesn't really impact me. But it does impact you. And more so than you think. Now, AI is nothing new. We've been talking about artificial intelligence since the 1950s. And if you look back, technology progressed quite quickly from the calculator to computers to self-driving cars, etc., etc. But to really understand AI and its impact and to answer the question if you should be worried, we have to understand how AI actually works. And most of the people don't. I didn't quite get it, to be honest, until I can dive down deep into that rabbit hole, because I just wanted to make sense of it. Now, the best way to explain it to you is to use the example of cooking a spaghetti bolognese. Yes, you heard me right. Spag bol, my favorite dish on planet Earth, is actually a really good example to explain to you how AI works. So AI is all based on learning. Now, how does artificial intelligence actually learn? So we've got different forms of learning. First one is supervised learning. And so, for example, if I want to teach my daughter how to make Mama Anya's spaghetti bolognese, I obviously going to stand with her in the kitchen and I show her step by step on how to make spag bol. That's supervised learning. The end result will be probably quite like how I make it. Easy peasy. Now, we also have unsupervised learning. So just imagine I'm going to give my daughter all the ingredients for a spag bol. She's obviously eaten spag bol before, so she kind of knows what it looks like, but she's never made it before. I'm not going to give her a recipe, nothing, nada. So she has to make it up. And there might be even bits on the table that don't belong in the spag bol, but she has to figure out a way on how to make spag bol. Unsupervised learning. Now, we also have something called semi-supervised learning. Basically, it means I give her all the ingredients, I give her a recipe card, basically like a cookbook, and I go you do it. It's going to be much harder, and it will take a bit longer to get to the end result, and the end result might not be like my famous spag bol, but she's probably going to get there. Now, there's also something we call reinforced learning. And that basically, you let her cook the spag bol and you taste it each time. And every time it tastes good, you go, that is so yummy. But every time, let's say she put too much salt in it, you go, nice effort, but you can't do it. She's obviously going to learn, okay, this was good. I need to use the right quantity of salt. Or this was bad, I just used too much. So reinforced learning, the more she cooks it, the better she will get. Now we come to AI learning. And I mean AI learning by itself. So we're not just giving AI tiny little scenarios like this. We're basically going to feed AI. And for that, I'm going to replace my daughter with a robot. I'm going to feed that robot every single cookbook, every single video about spag bol, and more importantly, I let the robot observe me on how I cook my spag bol. The robot can analyze all the different quantities of salt, of everything, and I'm pretty confident it will produce a spag bol that tastes equally as good as my spag bol. And here's the important thing. It's probably also gonna produce variations of spag bol that are so much better than my own spag bol. It might put a little bit of cinnamon in it, or I know some people grate dark chocolate in it. I've never tried it because I can't imagine if it tastes good. But AI might learn like, ooh, she likes that combination of flavors. I'm going to enhance the spec bowl. I'm going to produce that dish and she's going to love it. Amazing, right? And to be honest, in 10 years' time later, we probably all have a cooking robot in our kitchen. It's not science fiction, and you might giggle right now and you go like, yeah, whatever. I'll give you an example. For years and years and years, I've been telling my friends when we are old, and still luckily quite a little bit off, each one of us will have an individual care robot. You know, when we're old and we can't care for ourselves, we're each going to have an individual care robot. All my friends were laughing. Well, they're not laughing anymore since last weekend, because guess what was in the news? In Japan, they have introduced care robots. It's already reality in 2023. So just imagine what will happen in 2033. And technology advances at such a huge pace. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. But should we be worried? Should we be worried? Now, if we spin this a little further, you can think of a lot of scenarios that are really beneficial for us. Think about pilots. Wouldn't you rather have an artificial intelligent pilot flying the plane who doesn't get tired, who can analyze every single weather pattern, who can see if there's a bird about to crash into the plane or anything like that in the split of a second, who doesn't need to have a bathroom break, who doesn't need to worry if he had a night out before and now he has to fly this plane for 10 hours. I would feel better. I bet you would too, right? And think about all the different scenarios where we could replace a human with the artificial intelligence person. Because to be honest, they're probably gonna look like people in a few years' time. But they're not made of bones and blood and flesh. They're probably made of silicone or of another substance we haven't yet invented. Is it scary though? Should we be worried? Now, there's some people who say, well, if they replace every single job, pilots, doctors, nurses, everything, teachers, then what is there left for us to do? And some people argue we're going to become like pet dogs. AI will care for us and we can just live a happy life. We can read books, we can do whatever we would like because we don't have to work. And AI is looking after us. Nice scenario, you would think. But, and here's the big but, what if AI decides we're surplus? What if AI decides that solving climate change, the easiest and simplest way to do this is to remove the pest, the humans, because we are the ones who are creating all of those problems. So easy, just take the human race out. No climate crisis. Well, I know it's not quite so simple and I'm obviously exaggerating here, but you have to be aware of those scenarios and where we are going with it. Now, I don't have the answer. I wish I had, but I'm embracing it. For now, I'm actually curious and I'm enjoying the advancements of AI and how they can help me to be more productive and more efficient in my daily life. I'm also a little bit uneasy, I have to admit, about what lays ahead and how it will impact the future generations. Now, I would love to know what you're thinking about this topic. I know it's a controversial one, and I hope this video helped you to understand AI a little bit better, because I find a lot of people, especially in my generation, don't know what AI actually is and how it's working and why we potentially should be worried about it. I know I generalized it, but feel free to dive deeper into the subject, or just tell me what you think about it and if you are worried or if you think we should be worried. Now, leave a comment below or reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. It is an interesting one, definitely. But for now, I hope you're not too scared. I hope I didn't worry you. I just want us to look at that new, well, it's not a new subject matter, right? As I said, AI has been around since the 1950s. But I would like us to go into this new era with open eyes and actually understand what we're talking about and then make the right decisions. I see you again next week. Have a lovely day. Bye.